wife regrets following inspiring advice to open the marriage and decided that we should try it while we were young, if that's what we really wanted. I expressed interest but swore never to put our marriage or our love at risk, as he was the most important person in my life. James replied, "If our bond is strong, it will withstand infidelity." I argued that a mutual open marriage wouldn't count as infidelity, since we would both agree to it. Instead, he simply said, "Consider our marriage open starting right now." I was stunned again and insisted that we shouldn't rush, saying we needed to set certain rules. He clarified that his only conditions were as follows. We must inform each other in advance with whom and when we plan to sleep. We are obligated to tell each other what happened, but without excessive details. Protection must be used in all forms of intimacy, without exception. I agreed to his terms and proposed adding a few more points. We will keep our open marriage a secret. We promise each other that these extramarital relationships will not destroy our marriage, and we will stay together. James stated that he could not agree to these points. When I asked why, he simply replied that he didn't want to and didn't intend to discuss it either. I felt very uneasy, as this was completely unlike James, but I cuddled up to him and fell asleep. After these discussions, I was left with an unsettling feeling about the whole open relationship idea, as if James had ulterior motives. So for the next month, I didn't try to pursue the topic of open relationships, and we lived as usual. During this time, I kept my distance from Jaden at work, limiting myself to short and banal conversations about the weather and how we were doing. However, one day Jaden said he missed our talks and asked what had happened. I replied that I was busy at work and at home right now and just didn't have time to chat. The thought crossed my mind, should I tell him about our open marriage? And I decided I should. How I regret making that decision now. Discussing this topic didn't seem appropriate in the office, so I invited him to meet for a drink after work, to which he agreed. We met at a local bar with an outdoor terrace, perfect for the warm spring weather. I told him about our open marriage and asked him directly if he was interested in a relationship with me. He answered yes, without hesitation. He said he had been waiting for me to make a move and hadn't pushed earlier out of respect, but admitted he had been seeing me in his dreams for months. Most of our conversation that evening was flirting. It was a Tuesday, and we agreed to meet the next day for our first romantic encounter at his place right after work. However, I emphasized that I would need to leave by 6:30 p.m. to get home to my husband, who remained my top priority. That evening, I returned home and cooked a delicious dinner for James. After dinner, I told him about my conversation and meeting with Jaden that day, and that we had planned a date for the next day at his house, provided James was still on board with the open marriage idea. I noticed James looked surprised, then replied, "Oh yeah, okay, so you're seeing him tomorrow?" I confirmed, but assured him we could still cancel, as he and our marriage remained the main thing for me. He insisted, "No, let's do this." We hugged, but I felt tension and detachment in his embrace. I chalked it up to nerves. We barely spoke that evening as he was busy working in his study, and I had my own office tasks to do. When we went to bed, I tried to cuddle with him and initiate intimacy, but he said he was too tired and needed to rest. The next morning when I woke up, James was already gone. He left a message saying he had an early meeting he forgot to tell me about. He added that he would see me in the evening. This was unlike him, but